need to make sure that we take the good part of the family, trusting each other, being able to, be fully transparent. And at the same time, we are in the business. So, we have stuff that stay outside the business.
Welcome to the Leader's Edge podcast. I'm Zach Ewell, content producer here at Leader's Edge. In this episode, Associate Editor Chris Hann interviews Benjamin Verlingue, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Adelaide Group in Quimper, France. During this conversation, Verlingue shares his story of running his family insurance business. He also discusses what changes he wants to see during his time working, and the differences and misconceptions between the U.S. and France. Give it a listen.
Okay, we are with Benjamin Verlingue, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Adelaide Group in Quimper on the west coast of France. Benjamin, thank you for taking the time to be with us for this Personal Lines interview today. You grew up in Quimper on the west coast of France in the Normandy region. Tell me about growing up in Quimper. What kind of a town is Quimper?
So, Quimper, with my French accent,
Quimper, I'm
really,
sorry.
no worries, no worries.
Probably not the first correction you'll have to make today.
So it's a really small town. It's around 70,000 inhabitants, really
Okay.
on the western part of France, close to the Atlantic Ocean. And it's really nice to grow there. Even if I'm not a great sailor, being able to go on a boat, fish, pretty nice. And at the same time, you realize that you are not in the center of the world. So it's always good to be able to travel a little bit and see what is outside Quimper. So I had the chance when I was a kid to travel, and we used to do almost a 1 month trip every year in August with my family. So having a mix of being a small town with all the quality of living, but also being able to travel the world was quite a good balance.
That's a very enviable balance indeed. You mentioned that you traveled often to Asia.
Yes.
Tell me where would you go, and tell me about those experiences. That must have been something as a young person.
For sure. And Asia 30 years ago was a great place to travel in family. Pretty cheap, pretty safe, and a lot of stuff to do with young children. So we went to the Philippines, to India, to Indonesia, to I would not say every Asian country, but quite a lot. So it was nice, and also for sure spend some time in the US because great place to go.
When you come to the United States, what do you find are the biggest misperceptions about France or about the French?
So as a starter, I lived for 1 year in Chicago. It was really interesting, and so probably now uh, I get mixed on some of the US feeling. Maybe one common misunderstanding is that Europe is not one country. Is that Europe is not the US. And basically, even if we have a common history, going from Portugal to Germany is really different, including the language, the legal framework, the culture. And so, we are not so different, but saying, I'm going to Europe, and especially for business, you are well aware that many US insurance broker are, have willingness to go to continental Europe, saying I'm in France, so I will be able to reach all Europe. great mistake. So we, have many diversity, a lot of, specificity from one region to the other, even if we are more and more, going together, especially with the European Union, but it's just the beginning of the story.
It sounds like from what you sent to me earlier, you were preparing to take the leadership of your family firm, which is now in its fourth generation with you taking over as CEO, while you were still a young man, still in university. How did you come to that decision so young? Were you always expecting to work for the family
So
firm?
actually, it was pretty a long process.
Okay.
So as you mentioned, it's a family-owned business, so I'm part of the fourth generation. It's really my dad who increased the business a lot, and so I always had in mind that it was an option, and I would say that my dad always make sure that he it was open. So it was not like you need to do that, but make sure that it was interesting and sexy enough that I could consider that, and not just going back from work with only problems, but saying that we are doing pretty useful job actually when you think about that, what we are trying to do on a day-to-day business, protected businesses and people that could make sense. And so when I started classes and then go to university, I tried to make sure that the choice was still on the table. And at the same time, considering that if I said yes, it was a 200% yes. And so I tried to have a kind of broad scope of study and then try to focus. And so I started with economy, then finance. Then my last degree was on risk management and insurance. So it started to be something that, was pretty close to what we are doing. And then say, okay, um, again, if I'm jumping in the family business, it will be pretty hard to see something else. And so I went working for Deloitte, a large audit and consulting company for a few years in Paris. I worked for a US insurance carrier, broker, sorry, in Chicago. And so when I went in the family business, I think that I had, the, the, the family DNA, but also an outside look of, what's going on, what is just normal, what was something that we did really good already, and what was maybe needed to be challenged.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it was not a one day decision, but, until pretty late, I was, in the position to say no if I needed to say no. And then in 2015, I joined the family business and then take some responsibility until, last June when I took over the chairmanship of the business.
Was there a point along the way where you said yes to yourself? Yes, this is what I want to do. I want to go work for the family firm.
So probably when I decided to do the risk management and insurance degree. And then there was a second, I would say, important time. I have two older sisters. One is a shareholder, but is not working in the business. She's doing something else. And another one, Audrey, who joined the family business several years before me. And so, I was the youngest one in the family. And so I say, okay, I'm come last. What do you want to do? Are you, happy that I'm considering joining a business? Because probably we're going to work together. So, it's we are brother and sister, but it's something else to work on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And actually, she said, so I want to keep working in the business. I will be happy if you join. And I want to be involved, but I don't want to be the CEO tomorrow. So I think that we have room for the two of us. And for me, it was, important to hear that, to also project myself to see, okay, I can try to work this path to take over the family business. I'm not pushing my sister away, but I'm also not going to be alone by doing that. So it was pretty something.
That's nice that she told you that, I guess, right?
Yeah, and you know that in family story, there are no two histories that are the same, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's pretty easy, sometimes it can be pretty complex. So you never know.
Well, let me ask you about that. Are there difficult parts of working with your family, or with your father, Jacques, who you succeeded as CEO, and your sister, Audrey, who's now a deputy CEO?
Yeah. So I would say that I'm pretty lucky because
I'm sorry, you're pretty.
I'm pretty lucky.
Uh-huh,
It was a
uh-huh,
pretty smooth transition
uh-huh.
for, you know, for Audrey. Again, as I was saying, she she was happy that I joined the business and we are not, conflicted on what we are trying to do each other. And so for sure, we need to make sure that we take the good part of the family, trusting each other, being able to, be fully transparent. And at the same time, we are in the business. So, we have stuff that stay outside the business and we can talk during the weekend or during the Christmas dinner. um, Considering my dad, he also took over from his dad, and so I think that he always told me, um, I want to uh, take the business from one point to the other and making sure that I can pass it in a good position. And so he, I would say, had to push a little bit his father away to take the role. And I think he didn't want to replicate that. And so he made sure that uh, when we decided that 2024 was the transition, that he was able to give me really the key, but also I would say support me if I need it. So again, pretty lucky because it's not always like that.
So the family business was started by your great grandfather.
Exactly.
And when did he start the business?
In 1933.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna guess. Did you know him at all, or what? Or had he?
No, 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 no. So
Okay.
I knew really well my grandfather
Okay.
and spend a lot of time with him, but my great grandfather not at all.
Do you feel, as a fourth generation leader of the company, do you feel a particular pressure to carry on the family's business legacy? How do you deal with that?
I'm running a group of 2,500 employees in 5 countries. So I should have some, I would say, pressure or at least responsibility, just to make sure that, I'm responsible for several paychecks. So making sure that we are doing a sustainable business and that we have a positive impact for our client, but, more broadly, the society. Saying that, I would say that the best way to create this better future is accepting the DNA, the value, and the legacy, but not as too much pressure, but more as an enabler to grow the business tomorrow. As entrepreneur who are taking some risk, let's make sure that it's not crazy risk, but we are in a changing environment, in a market with consolidation, and so just looking back won't help us. So let's figure out what are our strengths, what are our weakness, and how we can use that to keep building this European leader. I would say it's my responsibility more than just being able to take the 90 years history. So, the best way to respect all this history is to look forward and try to develop in this new environment.
So, well, let me ask you about that. Do you, I'm wondering, are you bringing, I'm wondering what change you might bring to the company, either in its culture and in the way it does business. You tell me, what do you see any particular, I don't know, policies, initiatives?
It's a tricky one, and probably I will be in a better position to answer you from 20 years from now. So I won't wait 20 years to answer, otherwise it's going to be quite a boring podcast. But um, and I joined the business 9 years ago, so I believe that I already had an impact. When I took over the international part of Verlingue. We were in 2 countries. We are now in 5, and probably the turnover is 3 times what it used to be. And so again, when I joined the business, we were for the whole group 850. Now we are 850 outside France. So I would say
Wow.
that I already moved a bit what we are doing, and I'm gonna keep doing that. And we just launched our new 5-year plan, but I'm more on a controlled change that 80 degrees saying I'm gonna change that, I'm gonna do that. I think that we are in a business, we have the chance to have 97% retention rate in our portfolio. So the change will be more coming from the growth and your new position than just do a revolution on all the legacy.
In June, you announced something called the Better Future 28 plan, and that calls for the company to double its sales by 2028 to 800 million euros annually. That sounds really ambitious. Why so ambitious?
So two remarks, and then I'm going to go a little bit more into what we're going to do.
Okay.
First of all, it's something that we are almost used to do. When you look back in the last 10 years, we multiplied the sales by 3.5. So we need to speed up a little bit, but not too much. And so we really have a DNA of growth, which is mainly organic plus strategic acquisition. So in the current environment, it's ambitious, but pretty realistic. And then I was in the insurance leadership forum a few days ago. All the ambitious broker want to double the size in 5 years. So I didn't listen to them before writing the plan, but basically, if we want to keep pace in continental Europe, I would say it's the minimum that we want to do. So, joke apart, we are now in 5 countries, 400 million in turnover. The idea is to keep expanding where we are strong. Retail broker, we have a good TPA operation. We are entering the MGA space. I think that we have good fundamental in this challenging environment to gain market share.
Mm-hmm.
And this plan is really to make sure that we have something that can be positive, not only for myself as a shareholder, but that can bring this better future to our different stakeholders. So it need to bring additional added value to our clients by our offerings, by our digital tools, to our employees. And I think that we are, as in the US, in Europe, in a talent war, and we need to make sure that people who are joining us are joining something pretty exciting, and can find a way to to grow in our group. Um, for sure for the business, because if we want to be a long-term growing business, we need to be, this plan need to be good for us, good for our financials. And last but not least, making sure that our, I would say, environment, uh, carriers, but also the society, the small towns where we operate, are also gaining something like that. And, I would say that the better future for what is outside the company is also pretty interesting. Again, we are doing, insurance brokers make stuff possible. How we make sure that we can be aside, with supporting our clients who are handling big transitions. It can be uh, related to climate, it can be related to IT, it can be related to social changes. And I think that, to create this better future is our role to support them on that. If we do all that together, I'm pretty positive that we have a path to keep growing the business and be successful.
Benjamin, I'm going to let you get back to work.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate your time. Good luck
It was a pleasure.
in your work, and I'll get back to you in 15 years and ask you that question about their
Let's
transition.
We can talk in the meanwhile. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you so much.
That was Associate Editor Chris Hann interviewing Benjamin Verlingue. I hope you enjoyed it. For more episodes of our Personal Lines podcast series, go to leadersedge.com.